Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or if you guys are new here, then welcome. I would love if you guys would hit that subscribe button down below, click the little bell to be notified of all my future uploads, and let's jump into today's video. All right, today we are trying some indie brands. Now, I had mentioned before that I had been using some of these products for a little bit, so I could kind of give you like a more in-depth review, but some of them I have not been trying. So if you guys are excited to see what we're going to be trying out today, then definitely keep on watching. My eyelids are already primed. I am using my Shop My Stash bag for everything that we do not have to do the full face, and I will link that video down below so you guys can see what is in my Shop My Stash bag for this month. But let's go ahead and let's dive on into the Give Me Glow Grunge palette. So this is what the inside looks like. These are super fun shade names. So we have Bonehead, Teenage Dirtbag, 90s, Punk, Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Grunge, Underground, and Black Hole Sun. So I absolutely love that. Like, I'm a 90s baby, so like that's super cool. It also has a very large mirror. In here, I don't want to blind you guys, but like that's how big the mirror is. So it's a very large mirror. So first I'm going to take my BH10 brush and I'm going to go into the shade Teenage Dirtbag right here. I'm going to start that in my crease as like my transition shade. Okay, so far it is a very light shade. I feel like it's appearing a lot lighter on the lid than it does in the pan. That doesn't mean we can't build it up. So let's just try to build it on up. All right, guys, let's just go ahead and like, let's start chit-chatting. So as you guys know, I have like switched jobs from like healthcare into a more like call center-ish kind of position, right? Okay. With like real estate as well. Okay, let's like talk about this for just a second. Do people like really just like not, I don't know, think whenever they like submit or make emails? Okay, this is like my question. When you make an email, do you guys like actually like put forth like thought into your email? The reason I ask is because we ask for emails so we can send you like documents to sign, documents to like go over, you know, just some basic stuff like that. Like just things that you would basically see, right? If you want to work with a real estate agent, I'm going to need your email because there are documents that I'm going to send you that you have to sign. Like that's just how it is, whether that be like your notice of like what all is going to happen at closing and how much you owe, as well as like, you know, you're working with this agent and you have to sign a like contract with them, whether that be like an open contract, whether that be a you're only working with me, even if you find a buyer yourself, you still owe me the referral fee, or a dual agency, like whatever it is, like I have to send you something, so I have to be able to have your email on file. Okay, just so we know, we're moving on to a different color now. I am taking my E35 Temper Blending Brush from Sigma. I'm gonna go into the shade right here. So like, just know that like I'm likely, okay, just so you guys know that shade has like a ton of kick up. The other shade did not really have that much kick up. So I'm going to be like asking for your email. Okay, so I can send you stuff. Where was this ever a good idea that now that you are like an adult, like I could see these being things that like teenage boys, girls have, you know, but why you would take this on into like your 30s, 40s, even late 20s, okay, 50s, stuff like that, right? Like here's me like, what on earth are you guys doing? Okay, so I'm in like an office full of people, right? Like there are people sitting beside me, sitting behind me, sitting diagonal from me, sitting across from me. Like there are people everywhere, okay? And we have to read this stuff back to make sure that we get it right because I mean, you can misunderstand people all the time, right? All right, okay. What on earth would you put in email for something that's like of vital importance? As I like big tits at bigtits.com, or these nuts are awesome at nuts.com. Like, I'm sorry, you are a 50 or 60-year-old person and this is your email? But here's the thing, okay? Let's just say that like you weren't comfortable giving this, or like you were comfortable giving this email address. Why on earth would you keep that? Like, why on earth are you like a 50, 60-year-old person and like not ever have like a more professional email? I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. By the way, not sponsored, but I went and got like a nice Sonic drink during half hour or special hour or whatever, happy hour. I don't know what the hell it's called. What are your thoughts on like emails? Do you guys like enjoy the like I have big tits.com at boobjob, or like I have big tits at boobjob.com? Like, are you guys like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. Do you guys like those kinds? Do you guys think it's funny? I think it's like hysterical, but also like, come on guys, we're trying to be professional here too at the same time. Okay, moving on to the shade right here called Punk. On my outer corner, I am taking that on a Morphe M433 brush. One thing I hate about white-haired brushes is that they get like so dirty. This shade also has like quite a bit of kick up. I'm just gonna work on that in my like outer corner. Something that I did not tell you is that I have another new puppy. I know this is like, it's ridiculous. So the thing is somebody decided on Mother's Day, I was working from like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. My husband was working 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. at his job, okay? Not a big deal, something that we do frequently. We have somebody that comes and like lets the dogs out in between times, and we have like a security camera that captures a good portion of our house. And then each of our dogs have a tie out. So I am driving home. I see this little tiny puppy in the yard and that I've never ever seen before. And I was like, oh, weird. I think that might be my neighbor's new dog, because our neighbor, we were out walking our two dogs, Daisy and Duke, that we already have. And the neighborhood was like, oh yeah, we just got a new puppy. Like, he's wild, he's crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, the baby puppy stage is like, yeah. So I was like, oh, this must be his. I could not see that that this dog was already tied to Daisy's tie out. Like, I could not tell that. And so I get out of the car, like I just like pull up because I don't want it to like run out in front of me because I didn't know it was tied out. And I'm going to go and like take this back to go over to my neighbor's. And so I get out, and that's when I see that this little tiny dog is actually like tied up in our yard. This dog is literally, you can see the fleas crawling on it. It's got ticks, like engorged full ticks on this poor thing. This thing is so tiny and skinny. It barely weighed a thing. So I'm thinking like this must be like a 5 or 6 week, maybe even 8 week dog. All right, I'm gonna then go into the shade 90s. Actually, let's go into the shade Nirvana right here. I then call the police and I file a report that somebody had left a like abandoned, neglected dog in my yard. Okay, because like you can tell this dog has been like abandoned and neglected. Like you can see its spine, you can see its ribs, you can see its hip bones, like you can just see it all. So I come and I file a police report. And so they come, okay, and then just so we're moving on, we're gonna move on to Black Hole Sun. I'm gonna kind of like line my lids like a little shadow liner. And they're like, hey, if you're gonna file this like police report and, you know, keep it open and active, we'll have to take it for 24 hours to monitor it for like rabies and stuff. And I'm like, well, yeah, go ahead, I guess. Like, take it and monitor it for rabies. And I was like, you're gonna feed it and stuff, right? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, well, hey, before you come pick it up, can I just call you whenever I'm done? I'm gonna give this dog a like Dawn dish soap bath to help try to kill some of these fleas and ticks. And they were like, yeah, sure, just call us whenever you're done. So I, you know, bathe it and I give it, and then I give it some food. And the part that's like really odd is that like he will put like dog food. So we obviously have puppy food that are like tiny, they're tiny and round. So it's not like he would be unable to eat them if he had all of his teeth. So I was like trying to feed him it, and he would like pick it up in his mouth and then like drop it back out. Like he had no idea what to do with it. And so then I was like, okay, well, I've got some like wet puppy food from when Duke was little, because Duke, we got it like 5 to 6 weeks old. He was able to eat the puppy food, but we had to like wet it down with like some canned dog food, like put that in there. And so that's what I did. And he was still like unable and unsure of like what he was supposed to be doing. So I had to like hand feed and spoon feed him. So then I called animal control and I let them know. And it turns out that he is not anywhere from 5 to 8 weeks old. He's like anywhere from like 10 to 11, 12 weeks old. Like that's where he's at based on his teeth. 10 to 12 weeks old. And he weighed like 5.6 pounds. And for the breed that they think he is, which is like a shepherd, maybe like a Chattahoochee dog mix, Aussie, something like that, he would need to be like twice that amount of weight for the age that he is. And I was like, okay. So anyways, animal control took them, and then like the lady that does like the whole like animal control thing like really took good care of them. It had been 24 hours. I had called and I was like, hey, so did anybody come to try to, you know, claim that dog? And they were like, no. And so I was like, okay, well, clearly this dog has some like health issues. So let me go ahead, let me take the dog. So I took the dog, took it to the vet. It is severely underweight. We're not quite sure why the dog is unable to eat like a normal dog, because his teeth are all in. His teeth don't look, you know, like there's like anything broken, anything like that. They all look healthy, like they look like healthy teeth. He pooped worms for 4 to 5 days after getting the meds. Like, I mean, just like worm. We started all those treatments, and now he's on like prescription meds and prescription like food and stuff like that. So it's like super expensive, like even more expensive. And since we already have 2 puppies, so I did start a GoFundMe, because after he gains, so they want him to at least just focus on gaining weight before we worry about like the other stuff, but they think there might be something neurologically wrong with him. Okay, so I don't have anything for lining, foundation, concealer, any of that, cream contour. I will come back and we can test out more of these products. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and let's do some setting powder. This is the Give Me Glow baking powder, loose setting and baking powder. That's what it says, in the shade Sugar Cookie. This is the lightest shade I believe that they offer. It is a very like nice size. It says Sugar Cookie, very big on the bottom. It is 32 grams or 1.12 ounces. So if you guys know me at all, you guys know this is going to take a while for me to get through. All right, so it has a sifter in it. Comes out this shade. Makes me a little bit nervous because it doesn't look like that light, but let's go ahead and try setting underneath the eyes. This is like a very light, finely milled powder. This one right here kind of does have a little bit of a pink hint to it. And like, if you don't know what your shade would be, because they have like so many different shades for setting powders, it at least gives you like an idea of like if it's going to be good for your skin tone or not. So the under eyes don't look terrible at all. This actually was not a bad shade for me. I was a little bit nervous because it did look just slightly a hint dark. So we have the Juvia's Place Bronzed Light. So, okay, I did put on some like light cream contour, but let's try taking the contour shade. Okay, number 1, that has like a lot of kick up. And let's try like chiseling out the cheekbones. So for this light shade right here. Remember, I am fair. Like in almost every foundation, I am picking probably one of the lightest, if not the lightest shade. And sometimes, depending on the brand, that is also still too dark for me. And this still took like so much layering up. And even then, I don't really notice that it did a whole lot. Like you can see a little bit of a shadow. But the fact that we had to layer up as much as we did to get here, Then let's go into the bottom shade to bronze up. And again, a lot of fallout and a lot of kick up. Okay. This definitely shows up. You do not need to go near as heavy-handed, especially if you are my skin tone, to get this to show up. The contour, you kind of did have to work a little bit to get it to show up. As for the bronze, as you can tell, not so much. There's the skin bronzed up. So next up, let's do, I was gonna do blush first, but I think I'm gonna go with highlight first. And this is the Give Me Glow Sunset Glow highlighter in the shade Late Night Coast. Wow. Well, number one, this is very chunky and this has quite a bit of fallout. And it's very glittery. So, just wanted you guys to know that it is definitely very glow shit. Okay. I mean, like, guys, look at that. Holy shit. This was not how I was expecting this to go. Oh my god. Number one, holy shit. First of all, this is very chunky. It has quite a bit of glitter in it, and you can really see the glitter on your face once you blend it in. So when you first put it on, you're like, oh god, there's the glitter. Once you start blending it in, the glitter fades a little bit, but it is definitely still there and has definitely kind of fallen on the face. So just something to be mindful of. So this is chunky, has kick up, and is glittery, and also very much beamy. Okay, next we're gonna go into this blush volume 2, and I think I honestly want to kind of mix the two shades together. I'm just gonna tap in to both and start applying it. It's very nice. I will say though, I thought maybe it was going to show up maybe like a little bit more pigmented than it is so far. So I'm gonna go finish up the rest of my makeup and then come back so we can try out this liquid lipstick in the shade Brownie Batter. Okay, so I am back. Everything is done except for the lips. So let's go ahead and let's dive on into this Give Me Glow Cosmetics matte liquid lipstick in the shade Brownie Batter. It does have like a very sweet, like almost like a cupcake, like a vanilla cupcake kind of a scent. That's what it smells like. So I'm going to use this. I don't have a lip liner for this, so I'm just going to line my own lips. It has finally dried down a little bit. I will say this is like a very nice color, don't get me wrong, and the formula is super comfortable. Like I don't have a lot of issues with it. Like it doesn't really dry out, but it's definitely heavy. Like you can feel it on your lips. Like I can feel that this is on here, but it's not like super drying. However, I will say after about, because I've tried to test this over, after like a couple hours of wear, I really get like a huge like butthole, like, okay, listen, I'm already starting to get like the butthole lip effect, but let me tell you, after like an hour to 2 hours, like it's like, oh yikes, yeah, girl, what you doing? What's going on? So just something to be mindful of. But let's talk about everything that we tried today. So first off, this highlighter, obviously, okay, you can see me from space. Glittery. It definitely appears very glittery at first, and then when you start like swiping it in, the glitteriness kind of fades away. Next up, this Juvia's Place bronzer. I hate the contour. I hate this. This like barely shows up and I just don't feel like it does anything. This, however, is a beautiful shade. It's absolutely beautiful, looks absolutely stunning on my face. Love this. As for the blush, I also love this. The setting powder I do like as well. I do like that you get like a large amount. I'm really a huge fan of this component. It's a very nice component. The only downside is that it just does look a little bit heavy on my skin. Coverage that it gives is nice. It overall is very finely milled. It's a beautiful powder. It's just, I really will need something super hydrating underneath my eyes in order to wear. The liquid lipstick, it's nice. It's comfortable. It just does feel heavy on the lips. Like I can definitely tell that it's there. And then also after about a couple of hours, you definitely get like the butthole lips. As for this grunge palette, I love this. This is so absolutely beautiful. The artwork, okay, I mean like, come on, like get out of here. This is like every like emo, like 90s, 2000s, like emo kids vibe, like 100%. The look that I created, beautiful guys. And that is it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please give this video a thumbs up down below. First of all, what do you guys think about odd email addresses? Into it, not into it? Equally as like, yeah, I'm into it. If you're not like doing a professional, like, I don't know, business kind of thing, let me know that as well. As well as, have you guys tried any of this stuff? What do you guys think of the look? Let me know all of your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.